my god, guys. It works. Okay. Just turn off my laptop. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Talk with Jen. This is the second episode in my Talk with Jen series. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I just started this new series on my channel, and I'm very excited about today's episode. So, today, we're going to be talking about dun 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 oh. Dun 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 dun. K-dramas and C-dramas. Because I have an unhealthy obsession with watching so many and then never finishing them. I do finish some. I have around 60-ish K-dramas and C-dramas I've finished on MyDramaList. By the way, that is the one of the websites that I love to go on to rate my K-dramas and just keep up with recommendations and all that and reviews. So if you guys want to follow me or look at my K-dramas and C-dramas I've watched, then you can check my account in the link in the description. But let's just get into my beginnings of C-drama and K-drama land. Also, oh my god, I literally forgot to address the elephant in the room. Can you see? I don't know if the lighting changed it, but I dyed my hair blue for the first time in my life. So my hair is no longer virgin hair, and a lot of things have happened since I recorded my first episode. I just went to see my family in Laos for the first time in 4 years. So it had been a while, but now we're here and we're staying in the present. So let's talk about K-dramas and C-dramas. Again, I'm literally quite chaotic. I'm actually so scatterbrained, but let's just get into it. Okay, so my humble beginnings. Where shall I begin? I first started, my first C-drama I ever watched was Because of Meeting You, which, okay, slay. I think the main actor in this show is canceled or something. I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna talk about this on another episode, but the Chinese entertainment industry is wild. They are wild. Just so crazy over there. If you know, you know. With C-pop and just everything with dramas and blacklisting and Weibo and all that. It's just crazy. But I think he's canceled or something, or blacklisted. I don't know. I'd have to do my research on that, but we'll see. So I watched that. That was my very first one, and I can't believe that was my first one because it's very ambitious kind of drama. It was it was probably 40 plus episodes, which is insane because of what I watch now and what I can tolerate now for episode duration. The episodes I watch now are 16 episodes and I can barely get through those. I'm well, then again, those are an hour long each episode, so it can't really come from me. So that was my first C-drama I ever watched. At the time, I was really into only modern dramas, so I'll get to my thoughts on historical dramas and time period dramas. But let's go into my first K-drama I ever watched. First K-drama I ever watched was, oh my god, my voice. Boys Over Flowers. I watched it on Netflix, and it's a classic. I feel like when you get into K-dramas, once in your life of watching dramas, you have to have watched Boys Over Flowers. It's a classic. It is so tropey. It has every single trope that you could imagine in it that you would expect from a K-drama. I'm not gonna lie, guys, now that I think about it, I've probably said that word for so many times. I'm so sorry if you get sick and tired of hearing it. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing it myself. But anyways, Boys Over Flowers is my first K-drama I ever watched. In that, since it was on Netflix, I was very much in my Netflix K-drama era. So this was before really Netflix originals. Nowadays we have a lot of Netflix K-dramas coming out, but that was before that kind of era happened. Like the dramas I started with was that one. I watched, I think this one called Blood. I watched, what else did I watch? I watched Cinderella and the Four Knights. So I watched those like very nostalgic looking like drama types. Like you'll know when you watch them, it's like, ooh, that era. And also, since I was watching it on Netflix, I also watched it on YouTube because they would have KBS KBS K-dramas on YouTube. And if you watch K-dramas during that time, specifically 2017, 2018, I think 2018, 2019 was when I first started watching dramas, but during that time I watched a lot of them on YouTube as well. So I would watch them from the KBS channel, and there's just a specific look and time and feel that you know when you're watching a KBS drama. It's the set design is very much, compared to regular dramas, it's very structured, and the houses all look the same. There's always the richer house that looks the same, and then the poor girl house. And they only stay in that setting. If they're outside, it's a very specific type of shot with like the actors in it. So anyways, that was my beginnings, and now we will move on to currently the current era of my watching. Actually, I forgot. Again, I'm quite literally all over the place. I go on many tangents, but I'm going to try to keep it at a minimum. So, speaking of like historical, because I forgot to go back to this. Yes, in my beginnings, I would always watch specifically modern dramas, but now, I think towards quarantine 2020, I started watching historical C-dramas. I wasn't as avid of a C-drama watcher as I am now. Like, I'm a very avid C-drama watcher now. But for sure, I didn't really get into it until I started into my, like, costume period drama time. And the reason was because they would start recommending me historical C-dramas. Like, and it's really nice because C-dramas, you can watch a lot of them online. Or, not online. Well, technically online. But on YouTube, like, the whole series with English subs, and it's great. So I started watching those, and I was very reluctant because I had this idea that, oh my god, and it's so like, you shouldn't think like this, but I had this grand old idea that I don't like seeing men in long hair. Huh? What? And look at me now. I'm a censor me. I am a fiend for like long hair in C-dramas. Like, I love it, and especially like men. I will say there's some men who rock it better than others, but like they just look so good, and I'm obsessed, and I love the clothing, and it's amazing, and I love everything about the setting, and I could talk about it forever, but I won't. But yeah, I love it. So yeah, during 2020 was definitely the peak of when I started watching a whole lot of specifically historical C-dramas. But now we will lead into my faves, my tops, K and C-dramas. So first, I'm gonna go with, on my list here, I have Missing the Other Side Season 2. I put Season 2 because on my drama list, I rated it as a 10 out of 10 stars. Yeah, I know, that's a pretty high rating. I'm so excited. 2024, they're coming out with Season 3. It's just such a good drama. I feel like everyone has phases when they watch in like anything, whether it's like, you know, K-dramas or anime or TV shows, like whatever you're watching, you have phases of what you like, you know, reality TV, whatever. For me, I go between a lot of phases, and for a while I was in a crime thriller like phase, right? So this isn't necessarily that. It has elements of that, but it's more so the characters and the storylines are really good in this drama. I'm not really good at describing dramas, so look up the synopsis. But I really, really like it. Yeah. And also the main character's hair, his hair's longer in this season. And oh my god, guys. Literally, I hope he never cuts it. It's so beautiful and it's so amazing. And it's just crazy how when you see season 2 of a K-drama, they like don't shoot it until like 2 years later. Unlike here in the Western media, they shoot it like right the next year. But then in like Asia, it's like 4 years later, and you can tell the quality difference and the production difference, and you can definitely tell if you're watching this thing, The Other Side season 2 compared to the last season. Also, I do want to say, side note, it is a little wild. What are you guys' opinions on second seasons in like K-dramas and C-dramas? Because like I feel like it's a little bit becoming more normalized, because usually they only have one season, which I like, because sometimes you only ever need one season and you don't need more. Some shows, I think it's good with like 2 seasons or 3 seasons and that's all. So I think Missing is definitely one of those. And The Uncanny Counter, I haven't finished season 2, but I don't want to talk about it. Okay, anyways, next I have the Imperial Corner. Oh my god, guys, this is a period piece. It is it's so good because the plot line is interesting. The characters are what make, for me personally, the drama so good. And also, like, you know, the element of mystery and all that, and discovering along with the story. But I love the actors. I think they did so well in their roles, and they were one of the first relationships I've seen in historical like C-dramas that were actually healthy and really good at communicating and not putting people in love triangles, because that's what all these romance dramas do. And in later I'm going to talk about my favorite and least favorite tropes in dramas, but they're one of the healthiest couples I've seen, even like in a period piece, which is crazy. So I really like that. Next I have Tomorrow. Guys, Tomorrow is so good. I rated it out of 10 out of 10. I cried every single episode. I put that on my TikTok because it's true. From episode 1 to the last episode, I cried every episode. Every story was so sad. Trigger warning, it does have suicide in it, so that's why you can assume I cried a lot. But I loved every single person's story. I think it was well done, and the characters were also really good in their roles. And overall, it was just so good. Word of Honor. Let me tell you guys, Word of Honor was amazing. It was beautiful. Everything about it. I loved everything about it. There were some things I felt a little bit could be improved on, but I loved the costumes. Like, one thing I think is underrated in dramas and shows nowadays is that the styling. The styling in Word of Honor is amazing. This is a period piece. It's a censored BL, and it stars Gong Joon and Jahan. If I got that right, I can't remember. But oh my god, the actors did incredibly amazing. They were perfect. I loved them in their roles. I loved the cast. It was crazy. It was chaotic, but it was a great time. It was entertaining enough for me to keep following, and like the relationship dynamics between everyone, it was incredible. And I will not shut up about the setting and the costumes. Like the costume design, especially for Gong Joon's like character. Oh my god, it was amazing. Oh, to die for. Like one of the best dressed male like characters in historical C-dramas. I'm stating it here. Okay, and then I have 2 more. I have Who Rules the World, which is another period drama. Again, you can tell I love historical dramas. This one I really liked because of the relationship. Again, it was one of the healthiest relationships I've seen. Close to Imperial Corner. They were just very good at communicating, and there wasn't too much toxicity and stereotypical tropes within the drama, and I really liked that. And it was an interesting storyline. and the music was really good. Also, I do want to mention that music is another thing I forgot to mention that is very underrated in dramas. Like, for example, I don't remember what it's called. Something Starry World. I don't know. This drama, it has such a good OST. I love every single song. My favorite is by Maobui. I don't remember the name of the song. I can't remember the name of the song, but it is so good, and it really just makes you feel like you're in the drama, and it makes you feel that whatever emotion that is being portrayed at that current scene. Amazing. And then the last one is Killer Shopping List, which is a K-drama, and I really like the mystery element. I love the setting. It's just so unique to put a crime drama in the setting of a grocery store. Plus, the grocery store is really cute and cool, and I love it. I love all the characters. I love the main character. I loved how he played it and his goofiness. But overall, it was serious as well. And I love those dramas that can balance the comedy aspect and the mystery, like thriller element as well. So I think it did a really good job on that part. Okay, let's move on. What else? Okay, let me talk about a couple things before I get into my favorite and least favorite tropes. Before I get into that, I want to talk about C-dramas and their, I don't know what it is. I would have to look into it, but if you guys know, I feel like there's just been an increase of web dramas. Not the type of the ones on YouTube that are short little dramas, but 10-minute episodes. And I'm like, you can't fit 10 minutes of content in one episode for a show. There's gonna be faults. My favorite one that I watched is My Killer Is Also Romantic, but there are flaws within it. I loved it, don't get me wrong. It's really good for a short drama, but it lacked a lot of things that it needed more. So I just feel like we need to stop doing it. I don't know, that's just my opinion. I just feel it's a little crazy to have a 10-minute episode for C-dramas. So yeah. Also, I just want to mention that K-dramas on Netflix, what are we doing with pushing out, and this is not just to Netflix, but in general with streaming, why are we pushing out 2 episodes once a week? Hello? What? On ongoing dramas, there'll be a drama that is airing, and it's episode 1 and 2 comes out on Thursday and Friday, or Friday, Saturday, and then you gotta wait a whole week until the next 2 episodes. And I'm I have no time to wait for that, especially as also a C-drama watcher. Those I'm gonna try to censor myself, but those girlies over there know what they're doing. They push out 4 episodes a week, and I'm thank you. Thank you. And it finishes way faster, but that could be the production difference and just Korea versus China and that kind of difference. But still, I'm just saying, I don't like waiting a week to finish a goddamn series. It's 4 months to finish a series that's airing. That's only 16 episodes. I'm what do you want me to do with this? I'm gonna lose interest. But that's just my opinion. So if you guys have any thoughts on that, let me know. Now we can get into the fun part, which is my favorite, oh my god, tropes. My favorite and least favorite. So let's start with my faves. Let's get the positives first, and then we'll get to the negatives. Or usually people do the other way around, but this is what I'm doing. So my faves are, first, The Natural Meeting, aka literally just a regular love story. Quite literally, 2 people who meet, they fall in love, and it's natural. So example, Run On, which I love that K-drama, by the way. It's just so healing and so adorable. But yeah, just where 2 people meet and they fall in love, and it's just natural. We don't need these toxic elements at all. you know, which I will talk about in my least fave tropes, so we'll get to that. But that's one. Then I don't have many. Actually, now I think about it, I only have one more, I think. Yeah, because I couldn't think of much for my favorites, because there's not too many that I'm like, oh my god, I love it. Like, I literally love it. Anyways, actually, I can't think of one more after this, but the second one is when they have both been in a previous relationship or one has been in a previous relationship. Now, I know that can sound a little bit toxic, meaning like you just got out of a relationship or you've been in a relationship that hurt you a lot and you're still thinking of the other person. But for me, I love those kind of like dramas that do that. For example, Another Miss O and then A Piece of Your Mind. A Piece of Your Mind's a little bit darker, but I like how the other partner like shows that person that they can still love and they're still deserving to love, you know. But that's just me. Oh, and then the third one I just came up with on the spot is the one. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of forgot. I probably should have wrote it down, but whatever. So sorry, guys, to keep you waiting. Let's move on to my least favorite. My least favorite would have to be first is Childhood Lover. I have very strong opinions about this. You guys can talk your talk and tell me what you think. For me, listen, I get it. It's like, or like it's this also falls in the category of you already knew each other in the past. And it's supposed to connect the storyline, being like, you were fated to be with each other, and that works in the sense of like who rules the world in that scenario. But in every other scenario, I'm just like, for me, the thing is, you fall in love with a person when you're very young, right? So this is generally, when I say childhood lovers, I'm thinking like a typical K-drama would be like they're 6 years old, maybe 5, 6, right? And they are maybe neighbors and they hung out with each other all the time. But then they both, like, maybe one person moves away and they grow up not really talking to each other after that, because you move on, you grow up in different environments, new friends, new schools, whatever, life, you move on, then you meet each other again. But the person, one of the people, typically the guy, will still think about that person, that girl. And I don't think it's a bad thing to think about the person, especially if they had an impact on your life. I think it would be a different story if like maybe you were closer in high school. But I will say, it's like, for me, it's harder to believe that you are still, or that you can fall in love with that person. I get it. There are elements of like you as when you're younger that you still have when you're old, right? There are those characteristics. Guys, I feel like, at least the guys in the dramas, hold on to that idea of what they had of that girl in the past. For me, it's like, it doesn't make sense because they're gonna be a different person when they're older. They experience a lot of new different things and it changes them as a person and their personality. So that one girl that girl that you had so much of an attachment to, so much fond memories of, she might not be that same person that you meet in the future. So when you meet again, it's harder for me to believe that they fall in love, because it's like this girl can be totally different from what you knew. So for me, that's why I don't like childhood romance, like lovers or whatever, or we both knew each other at some point. I mean, usually in the past, because a lot of people change and that it's always just the guy or that person holding on to the idea of what could have been. And that's why I think things like situationships are so much more mourned over, because it's what could have been. It's like they're always thinking what could have been. But if you're so stuck on that idea, it's always harder to actually be present with your current. So that's just my opinion. I know I rambled a lot, but it's just me, girl. Okay. And then I think I have 2 more. So I have 2 more. I have the CEO love interest. I don't love this trope. And you see it everywhere. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? What else? business proposal. You see it everywhere. 근데 I don't love it because they make the like role of the CEO mad like, oh my god, that was so cringy. They make the CEO role so boring. I'm like, babes, could you not be like plainer than paper? Like, it's like I'm talking to a wall. Like, I can't do this. Like, there's nothing responding. I'm what? Anyway, so for me, I don't like it because they're typically very boring. They always have like, not saying this is a bad thing, but like they always give the main male lead, the CEO guy, like trauma. The girl's always poor. He's always there to save her because he has money and he's hot for some reason. And also, the CEO is usually part of the most boring business ever. I'm like, if you're gonna be a business drama, make it interesting. Like, the setting is so boring. You're CEO of like the stock market. Like, what do you want me to do with that? I'm not falling in love with that. Like, huh? What? Anyways, that's just my opinion on CEO love interests. Okay, and then time travel, specifically to catering to C-dramas. I don't love when it's like a modern girl traveling to like historical dramas, because half the time they're done poorly. Because it's like, yeah, at first it's cute for the first couple dramas, being like, oh, she doesn't like she's bringing all her modern stuff into the historical world and she's showing them how to use it and all that. And I'm like, if you're gonna be historical or modern, just pick one. Just be historical or be modern. Like, I don't like that crossover. It just feels weird to me. And then they make some like story up about, oh, he was actually also in a simulation too. Like, he was also part of this test experiment trial video game thing too. Or, oh my god, he was in a coma. I'm not referring to Tiger and Rose, okay? Like, it just takes you out of it when you know the whole time that she's not part of that world, or at the end of it you know that like they can't stay in that world. They have to go back to the modern world, which always like makes me upset. So clearly I have a vendetta against this, but anyways, now we're gonna talk about my favorite couples. So first we're gonna talk about Who Rules the World. I don't know why I threw a peace sign up, very unnecessary. In Who Rules the World, we have Hei Fengxi and Bai Fengxi. They literally slay. I love them so much. They're so cute together. And I want a man who literally looks at me like I'm his whole world. No pun intended. Like, he looks at me and the minute you look at him, his eyes melt. Like, oh my god. Anyways, next we have Imperial Corner with Choo Choo and Xiao Jinyu. I'm so sorry, by the way, I'm butchering all these names. I'm not Chinese, I'm so sorry, but I love them. They're so adorable. And Choo Choo is a character I feel is one of the only characters that has done, or one of like the actress herself, who can and like do aegyo, like just has natural aegyo. Very like cute, but it's so natural it doesn't make you cringe. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I love Zhao Lusi, but she, by the way, she's a Chinese actress if you didn't know. She in her earlier work would play that, playful, bubbly character, and it works for her, but I think in her past work is overdone to the point where I was like cringing. Versus I love her work now where you can still feel that like unique characteristic from her, but it's not overdone to the point where it's making you basically cringe. So I love Choo Choo's character because she's just so natural with it. She's just adorable without like being cringy, because it doesn't feel like she's forcing it. And then Run On, I mentioned in this drama earlier. I love the couple, Ki Sun Yeon and Omiju. Yeah, love them. They're so adorable. Love an adult relationship like that. Lovers as adults. And then Sword Snowstride, Shu Fengyan and Jiang Ni. Love them. I need to see more dramas like this where it's I know it's kind of weird to say out loud, but a master maid relationship, not in a way that's weird and kinky, guys, okay? In a way that's more just she's always by his side, and like he like quietly cares for her and they quietly care for each other, and that's like their relationship. And I'm like, that's so cute. Oh my god. Okay, and now let's move on to my honorable mentions, aka dramas that I started or dramas I've seen on TikTok that are really popular and I just want to mention. First, we have Hidden Love. I can't remember their names. And if I did, I'd probably butcher how to say them, but you know, if you know, you know. This amazing couple right here. Seen them all over TikTok. They look freaking adorable. Love them. Another honorable mention, I want to do Love to Hate You. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the drama. That couple, another adult like couple, and I love them. I think they're so cute. It was very fun drama. I did watch that one. I didn't put it on the list because it wasn't as special for me. Not special, memorable for me. I also loved Go Ahead. The lovers in there, they were childhood lovers, but like they grew up with each other. I think that's different. They quite literally been together since the beginning, and they still kind of remain that contact and are very much still present within each other's life, with whether or not they intentionally do it or not. The Go Ahead couple is very adorable, and I love how vulnerable he can be with her. Okay, guys, so that was my second episode, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I love to talk about, again, so many different topics with you guys. Keep recommending things for me to talk about. I have a list of things I'm going to cover. Let me know what the next episode you guys want it to be. Otherwise, I'm gonna pick and choose. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Bye.